Meeting is called to order. Oh, it's order. I'll do the roll call. Mr. Selyer. Here. Mr. LaFoille.
Present.
Ms.
Thank you for coming.
Macias.
That's what I was going to say.
Ms. Williams.
Present. I didn't say present. Present.
Ms. Salinas, present. And Dr. Mackey.
Present.
Okay, very good.
He didn't call my name, but I'm here.
I did? Oh, Miss A there. How did I just looked at you and skipped you?
No.
Went from you to me? Okay. We are going to proceed, and Dr. Mackey will guide us as to where we want to start, or Jose, or whatever, and we will cut it off at 8 o'clock or sooner. Thank you.
I hope you
Go
get
ahead,
on your
sir.
business, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. If we can look at, turn to page 3, and you look at the financial summary. If you would go and look at page 3, and you look at the revenue right there. If you look at the total revenue for this year, 152 million compared to the 2013, 2014 revenue, you see 153 million. And you see the net change is 1.15, it's 1,750,000. That's the net change in the revenue. And you go to expenditures, and you look at the salaries benefit went from 118 million to 119 million. And then you go down with benefits is 123 million to 122 million. And then you look at the total expenditures, 155 million to 157. And you look at that 3,192,391. That is revenue versus expenditures, and that's the difference right there as a negative. So that is kind of briefly, we've been over it several times, and this is the revenue compared to the expenditures. Now, I always think about this right here, that $1,750,000, that's just a guesstimate. We put a number in there because when the state releases the funding, we think in the next couple of weeks we'll have an idea, but basically by the end of the summer we'll actually know. By the time we finish with the budget, we'll actually know. So we just plugged in a number there. We feel like it's going to be, that's very, very conservative. We feel like it's going to cover our needs right there. And then if you look, trying to think, Mr. Elizondo, we added in the 750. Yes,
That's it right there.
750,000 workers' comp. We're adding that in there. Remember, for the last 2 or 3 years, we did not put that in there. This year, we're adding it back. Now, there's something that I read today. I read today that the House approved the TRS, the new law for the TRS, and it's a possibility that we could spend somewhere between 800 and 1.2 million on the new TRS. Is that employees additional? The employees gonna pay more, and we're gonna pay more. So right now, they're talking about that right there.
1.2?
Yes.
Yeah, the districts are gonna have to, what was it, sir? 1.5. And how much are we paying right now? Is that the one where you say TRS something?
Well, this is a totally
No,
different.
it's totally different.
Totally new.
Totally.
And so in addition to what we're paying right now and everything, they're gonna want us to pay another 1.5%, which is, makes anywhere between 800 to 1.3 million of our revenue go down.
Anybody who's on TRS? Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
kind of,
what-
no problem, sir. Mandated, unfunded, so there's nothing.
No, they're
new.
giving us the money, but they're just kind of giving it to us and then just taking it right back.
What do you mean they're giving it to, taking it
Well,
away?
you know how they're gonna give us more state funds, right?
Oh,
They're
yeah,
gonna
from
take-
that
they
one.
gotta-
they-
Funds, but we're taking all this and we're just
So
giving
if we were
TRS.
gonna get
Right.
2 million, we would only get 1 million eventually.
It's a card shop.
Okay, but hopefully we're gonna
But
get
it
more.
sounds good because they're giving the school dollars money, right?
It's a card shop.
And more money for the new enrollees that enrolled or something like that, right? And I'm hoping for the first time in 11 years, we get a raise. We haven't gotten a raise in 11 years.
What the rule was, but there's
You don't get paid at all. What you talking about a raise?
No, I'm talking about TRS.
I know,
we're gonna give them
I know.
100% raise.
Huh?
Yeah, I was figuring out that. I thought he was getting money. I was
like, no, we ain't sharing nothing.
And the other additional things that we're gonna look at, and I know we're playing this by ear, so don't take this for granted. If you look on page,
Right? On
4, 5, 6, 7, on page 8.
Okay,
Look at that on page 8, where you see that 2.688?
point six eight eight, yes, one three
Yes,
five.
and that's if we add additional to, from last year to this year. And that's something that we're working on right now. So these are numbers that we're gonna be working on. 2,688,000, yes.
Nancy, are the chemistry teats and all that paid for in this budget right now? All that is, you know, we had those big teats come in last year.
Yes, and we put
But you gotta find that money, I'll give
That's
it
what I
to
mean,
somebody.
Okay. The other thing that I haven't finished reading, because it came in today, is about the C-scope and some things on that. They're telling us they're gonna change that up. So,
We're gonna remove the
Lesson.
lesson only, and so they'll discount this price.
yes.
There's a controversy for lesson, it's not for us.
Okay, the lesson plans.
Do you understand what they did? Tell them, I asked Nancy the same question.
Oh, okay.
If you don't mind, sir. Okay. The C-scope comes with a lot of pieces to it. And it has a grid plans, it has a sequence to it. The IFD is the most important document. It actually tells each teacher for this 6 weeks, at the end of the 6 weeks, this is what your child has to be able to do. It breaks down the text and gives them detail on what that means. So if the text says the student has to describe something, then it tells you in the description these 3 points have to be made. And so the lessons were never mandatory in this district, they were a sample. And it's the IFD that they're working from. All that stays the same, the assessments are still there. There was controversy about some social studies high school lessons with a very conservative part of the state. And so they're just pulled all the lessons, they're like, forget it, it's not worth it. It's not worth all the.
On the history part only.
All of them.
All the lessons.
All the lesson plans for every subject in C-scope.
So all the rest of the pieces will be there, so they're gonna discount this price that's in here. based
The
on-
200,000?
No, it's 50 something.
I saw
It's 156.
C-scope 200,000.
156,000. It already went down to 151 for this year, but they're gonna discount that even more.
But what that means for us is, we might have to produce lesson plans. At what cost? They pulled every lesson, there were, was it, Nancy, 6, 7 lesson plans were actually at the heart of this in
Yeah,
social
for
studies?
social studies.
Out of the thousands of lesson plans, there were only 6 really
So
controversial.
they're gonna go back to the old way where the teachers used.
No, the curriculum's all there, but the
You've been
teachers
there.
would have to.
Oh, I see. Okay. The curriculum is still there. Okay.
The whole curriculum.
Yes, yes. Okay,
And those
that
are
sounds better.
mandatory anyway.
Okay, ma'am, that's no problem. Okay, we'll start with, anything else, sir? In case, I just want to go around in case somebody has.
I have a question,
Okay,
if I may.
okay.
Over the overall budget, the page 3, you guys sound like you have it under control, and I'm not going to worry too much about it, but that 1.75 million, that's showing us to be in a negative, we're probably anticipating, I know the conservative numbers, we're expecting more from the state. I think when we were at the board meeting, the figure was anywhere from as little as just 1.7 to 6.2 million
Right,
is what the projections are looking, which if we were to have a best case 6.2, are we going to be sitting with 4 million more that we're not going to have unutilized? What's going to happen with that overage?
What happened, when you start going to the details on page 7 and 8,
Yeah.
it depends on whether we add more or subtract more from the details.
Okay. So we'll be able to meet then if we receive additional money to hear your recommendations on where we should spend that.
We're gonna cut some more out of this, instead of adding on, we'll cut some more out of the variance.
So that we have a balance going forward.
Yes, regardless, either way, we'll have a balance on the cost.
Okay, I just wondered about the overage though.
Yes.
Okay.
Any questions on page 3 and 4?
On page 4, Dr. Mackey, page 4 is actually the total, and your estimate from page 3, that's the 175. That's what you're going with right now until you actually get something from the legislature, right? So on page 4, based on that figure, we have you have to work on $3,192,391 to bring this into balance.
That's correct.
And that's not counting when they give you more money or not for the 1.2 million for TRS. Is this figure include the pay raises that we voted on Thursday night?
Yes.
So this is a new sheet
Yes.
with all of the up-to-date from Thursday. Must have been working over the weekend, Mr. Elizondo.
How you know it's only Mr. Elizondo?
Because he does the numbers.
Oh, he does the numbers. He takes the register. He takes the register.
Yeah, he does a good job with that.
Okay,
Okay.
I don't do it by myself.
No, he doesn't.
what's page 5?
Okay, Mr. Sellier, you want to start where they allocated by campus or whatever you want to do, sir.
Does that say Justin?
I mean, this
Yeah.
is, I mean, there's, if you look at the difference between last year and this year, there's really nothing different.
Yes,
A few $1,000, so, I mean, they know what they need to know. I can't really pick at anything. It's, when you look at the difference, there's really not much difference, so I really don't have any questions on that.
Mr. LaFoyle?
I'm good.
You're good, good. Hey,
Don't
maybe
blame
we'll
me,
get
just
out of
ask
here
me,
by
I'll tell you.
6:30. No, I'm just kidding. Mr. Macias?
So there's a $25,000, is that the difference? 25,771? So not 25 million, just, wow. So, and this basic proposed budget doesn't incorporate any these innovative programming or anything additional that we might want to do for our middle schools or elementary schools, or does it already
Yes.
includes that? I guess just to think, the middle schools, I think we've had discussions, we're seeing a drop off. And so I'm trying to figure out if we need to allocate more funding to some programs in our middle school area.
I think this year we're gonna do something a little different. We're looking at doing something a little different. One of the things we're looking at doing, instead of having middle schools, we want to go back to junior highs, 7th and 8th grade, and move the 6th grade back to the elementary school.
You had talked about that
Yes.
before, but that's when you said the other night about rebounding?
Yes,
or-
yes. And
Oh, okay.
so since the bond passed, and we build a new elementary school, we're gonna use this year for a planning stage, and next year we have the elementary schools, then we'll have more space and more room. And what I'd like to see us do is do like Kitty Hawk and Judson Middle School, the first phase, and then the second phase, go to the other 3 middle schools, and make them 7th and 8th grade. The first year, like 14, 15, make it Kitty Hawk and Judson Middle School, and then the next year do the other 3 middle schools.
So-
And then, see, what happened is, Mr. Macias, is that in the middle schools, what has hurt us hurt us a lot, is that we have elementary teachers in the middle school. We need to put them back in the elementary with the 6th grade. And we need to start doing good staff development for junior high kids, for 7th and 8th grade. And that would bring, say for instance, like Kitty Hawk, instead of having 1,300 kids, they would have something like 850 kids. Like Judson Middle School would have like 600 kids, and lower the student teacher ratio, because there's a lot of, that transition really hurt the middle school kids. And have the true certified secondary people in middle school. And I think that's the impact. We can put programs there. But when you put a programs with an elementary teacher, you still have elementary mentality. So we would have to look at something like that.
Well, I think that's something that Mr. Sellier,
Go ahead.
Mr. Sellier had actually mentioned too, when we were just having some discussions about trying to help the middle school.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a pretty cool and interesting idea to do that, to put the 6th grade component back into the elementary schools and start looking at that population. But we also have seen in the past historically that the grades start to drop off. And so you're thinking that movement will help tremendously,
Yes,
focusing on staff development. I obviously still would like to see some initiative on student development as well. I know you said staff development, but something like the AVID. I know we're talking STEM for high school, so somewhere where we're developing
No, it's
something.
still middle
For
school.
middle, okay, so
Middle school.
that's, to me, I see that as another innovative way to put money into
We're
programs.
one of the
for
last districts that we don't have that. So that's
Yeah.
another thing that we need to talk about. We need to know in all the planning that they've done, how does this board would like us to proceed even with STEM? We've been
yeah.
working on it for 2 years, and we're there. We just want to know,
Where's the
and
money?
it's been the money issue, but if the money comes, then we're going to have to prioritize and say, which programs do we want?
Certainly, and that's where I guess I want to see where those funds are coming from now. I mean, all this is starting to be formulated now. And are you saying then that the next year's budget is the one that's going to be impacted when we start looking at middle schools and looking at increasing dollars there? Or this year?
This year.
So this $25,000 differential incorporates already the
Where
STEM?
you at with the 25?
The page 5 still, where you have a variance of $25,771 overall.
Where's this?
It's more than that.
Oh,
Page
it's
number
page
5.
5.
Yeah, page 5, there,
He's talking about the bottom line of page 5.
the bottom line, yeah.
That isn't the bottom line.
It's right here.
No.
No, that's different. That's for campuses and departments.
This is
That's
just
not
the
our
bottom line
innovative
for
program. Ms. Robinson, you want to
Okay.
talk about?
Look right here.
Let me just tell you, there's
That's the
two
bottom line.
things not
Okay.
on here.
A lot bigger number than this one.
There's two things not on here yet, it's a draft, we'll get it for next time, and that is the Princeton review.
Okay.
We got a pretty good, bid for that, so it will be added to this, it's not here right now. And SAT day program, we're kind of looking at the money, and then looking for direction on whether we want to do that.
SHE day program?
Yes, what it means is instead of,
No, I remember what you explained. I was going to write it down.
Yeah.
that's it, call the day, you
And
put
so,
it the day, everybody.
I think where y'all want to look at is actually the bottom page 8.
okay, let me take a look at
Look at
page 8.
page 8.
Yeah.
That's where you're looking at.
That's the detail part
Yeah, that's
of
the
the
detail.
3 and 4.
Right.
Okay.
And C-scope will be less than what's shown.
Well, it looks, I think we're in a good spot. I like the fact that Tech State's going to give us more funds to do some of these innovative things. And hopefully we can continue and not have to cut as we go forward again.
Page 6.
I'm fine.
Now, let me get it straight, it's gonna be kinder through 6th grade in elementary,
Pre-K through 6th grade.
pre-K. So you-
But not 2013, 2014, 2014, 2015.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, I'm just thinking ahead on this. And then middle school will be 7th and 8th.
Termination report.
No,
we
no, no.
cut down-
No, it won't be called middle school. Middle school
Junior high.
is 6th, 7th, and 8th. 7th and 8th is called junior high.
Okay, that's what it was called when I went.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, then we'll be able to cut down APs for the middle schools.
Yes,
And
yes.
what are we gonna do for the elementaries, now that they're gonna have an extra grade?
That's my.
Okay, it depends on the numbers, the number of kids. If we can keep, say for instance, like, Ed Friends is small, Olympia is small,
Coronado.
Salinas would be 600 something, or Converse would be 600.
Now, there's 600 and something now, right?
I know, but if you add a couple of more hundred to it, they'll be up to like 800, where they are right now.
800 or 900, yeah.
No, it won't be 900, it'll be something around 800.
Okay, I'll wait to see, and then
Yeah,
I'll bring this up again.
We have a plan, and we'll be working all year, and I'll keep you all, the board
Yeah.
informed on the plan each month. We'll kind of go over the plan, let y'all know exactly what the numbers is gonna be like.
Because if you add another grade there, I think, maybe middle schools, elementary need 2
Well, in
assistant
some
principals.
areas,
Depends on the number.
if they have the numbers, they will.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Miss Willie,
Oh, well, along those lines, if we're still just on I think that's great, the focus to move the 7th and 8th grade just to be together, but I'm just very concerned what that makes the elementary school look like for that. But I know you said you'll
Okay,
get.
but
Yeah.
we're gonna show y'all, see,
Yeah,
this
that's-
is easy talking about it, you know what the tough part's gonna be?
Yeah.
Bring this up. That's what I'm
When we
like,
have to
okay.
redraw these
All right, well, if we're
boundaries
back.
for these schools.
All right,
That's
so if
gonna
we're
be
on
the tough
page,
part.
yeah.
Because you know how people gonna come out that you've never seen before?
Oh,
Yeah.
My kid has
Yeah.
always been in this
I
school.
know.
However, you take Ed France with 400 or 500, you take Olympia with 400 or 500, and then you start equalizing like all the schools, but that's what
They
needs
didn't
to be
want the
done.
kids
It
to go
hasn't, it hasn't
to
been done
school
since I've
no way.
been here.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be done, is equalizing the
I don't think
schools.
you'll get a complaint.
And it's
They
not
want the
gonna
kids
take a
back
lot
at
of different, not gonna take more staff.
They want
It's
the
just-
kids back at elementary.
it's
You're gonna
just
have to
moving.
shuffle.
Yes.
But back to page 5, is that what we were on? We're not looking ahead to 6, 7, 8 yet? We're just looking at the overall, okay, then I don't really have
Right.
any questions on 5.
they're
My
still gonna
questions
be
are,
in middle school next school year.
oh, yeah, no, I'm looking at
transition.
page
Then what did,
5.
Dr. Mackey, when you finished, you were on page 5, right? That's what we were
Yes.
talking about.
And I don't have questions on page 5, but when we move to the more detailed, the campus and the programs, I do. So if we're just on page 5, hand it over to June.
When we get to the campus port, let Mr. Elizondo turn it over to him
Okay.
when he goes to the detail, but he does.
That's,
he does-
yeah, and some of it's programs and stuff. but-
Yeah, then Ms. Robinson's there.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Ader.
So when we go to the detail, that'll be where we'll be explaining the difference and the variances. Let's go.
All right, Mr. Elizondo, if you would start on, Mr.
I had when they were talking about the stamp,
Yes.
do we need it? Heck, yes. I thought we said they're gonna start with some grants. Am I right, Nancy? That they said there was some grants available? I'm sorry. Yeah, for the high school. But we're gonna start in the middle school first before we touch, not even the freshmen? We can't even touch the freshmen first?
Ms. Grady's been working with that whole committee every day, so she can tell you the logic better.
But she can't tell you tonight, that's not on the agenda. We're on a budget.
Well, we're talking-
And he gave me till 8 o'clock. Sorry, Miss Grady, I like you and all, but we ain't talking about STEM right now.
Okay.
Stick with the budget.
We can put it as an item on June the 20th. That'd be no problem. Plenty of time. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, good.
Mr. Elizondo.
Anything to do with money, I'm talking.
He wants to be out in 30 minutes.
Is where you start looking, or we start listing all the departments in the school district.
We'll have another budget.
That each one of the departments, the board, the cabinet member that's responsible for that area, and the budget that was adopted for 2012-13, and for both 13-14. I can go through each one of these, or you can scan them and tell me what.
I just had a couple of questions.
Okay, that's up to
On page
page,
6,
that's up to page
Starting-
8,
yeah,
right?
6 to
From
8.
8 and 9.
yeah,
no,
Miss,
5,
Sutton
6,
said she had a
7, 8, and
question.
9?
6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, they're all, it's all of it.
The remaining pages are stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Miss Sutton had a
Okay, so
question.
we'll start there.
Miss Sutton.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh.
Ms. Williams?
Oh, no, I just had it, whatever works, I don't care.
I'm sorry, Miss
It's
Williams, I'm
okay.
sorry. That was not intentional.
It's okay. No, I just had a couple of questions, but I think mine started really on page 7. And you have the names of your cabinet members written to the left, so is that who you want me asking, Dr. Mackey? I just was, there were...
Mr. Elizondo knows more about it.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
That was cute.
Well, there was one, let's see. I know the line, it says, the code number says 940. It's under Mr. Young's section, Safety and Communications. Why we went from 1.1 to nothing.
He actually, if you look.
Because safety and communication isn't important, right?
I had the same question.
Under, a little bit, where the 940 is, if you move up like 5 digits to 821.
Okay.
And you look at the difference column, you'll see it's a plus 1
Yep.
million.
Yep.
He consolidated those two.
Okay, cool. I didn't notice that. Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
And
Save your
then
money.
the energy and
I
matter.
didn't say money.
No, he didn't.
Saved a pencil.
No, I know.
He
just
moved us
it
some
from
money.
one place. Okay, go ahead, Bev.
Thank you. That makes sense. And then another one, which is the energy management. I know we got such great reports and all on that, but that was a bit of a drop in what we're spending, and I just didn't know the rationale for that change.
That, as a matter of fact, I met with Mr. Kirsch and Mr. Raspberry today, and that reduction happens to be with the amount that we budgeted for gas for our schools.
Okay.
Not for fuel, for the vehicles, but for the schools, natural
Okay.
gas.
Sure.
So after we did some estimates, we felt like the majority of that is to that gas. And I feel like next year.
That much of a savings?
Like,
Yeah.
Moly. Okay.
Gas prices are down
Well, that
tremendously.
helps too, right? Yeah.
Natural gas.
Yeah.
Natural gas.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, and the next one was the iStation, the change in the iStation, because
What page you
The
on?
which
I'm
one?
on page 8, and it's under Miss Robinson's section. It's almost towards the bottom, but
What is it called?
iStation,
Oh, yes, yes, I see.
and it was just a bit of a change, and I knew that. I was just curious.
I like that.
It changed because we chose iStation last year at budget time for support after really looking at the product, and then as it turns out in the summer, the state adopted it. And so for certain grade levels, they're paying for those grade levels, so not all of them.
Okay.
So they pay the primary, so now they don't have to buy those grade levels.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Because it's awesome as far as I see. Like, I love it as a parent,
And
so
again,
that's
it
why I
was
was.
a great validation of the product when the state chose it statewide.
Yep. Cool. That's great. Okay. Cool. Those I think were my main questions.
Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
Oh,
Finish?
I'm good.
Okay,
Yep.
Mr. Selly, we'll start with Mr. Selly.
935. We got a decrease of 16,800.
What page, sir?
Page 7,
Page 7,
police department.
police department, there was a decrease.
Oh, a decrease, yeah. What happened
Was that cost saving, or did we cut something out? Or it's not an officer. It's not much money, but
No, right, the year prior, they purchased a vehicle in the prior year's budget, and they didn't request a vehicle for this next
Okay.
year's budget. And it's a net
that
effect of
vehicle,
something, but that was.
that's not getting a vehicle.
Mr. Hirschman, did we purchase 2 vehicles this year?
Yes,
Yeah.
we had enough
Right.
money in the budget this year to purchase
Two.
two vehicles, 14,500.
Yeah, we purchased, instead of next year, we purchased 2 vehicles this
Yeah,
year.
we got 2 vehicles this year, so we don't need vehicles next year.
But for clarification, we purchased 3 vehicles.
3 vehicles?
A brand new one, it was a Chevy Caprice, and then we purchased 2 used Cali cars.
Yes, right. We got 3 vehicles, that's why. We stay in the same.
That's on last year's budget, right?
Yes, sir.
This year,
Current
The
year.
one coming right now?
This one right here, the budget we in now.
the budget we're in, this year is about 3
The one
vehicles.
we're gonna finish in the 30th of June. or
Yeah.
whatever.
Can our peace officer, we stay in the same amount? We didn't increase an extra officer? We stayed the same.
It's one of those items where if the state were to provide us any more funding, then we would provide Dr. Max some information that we're kind of working on, that he would look at it, review it, and then propose necessary to present to the board for consideration to add to the budget if we had more money from the state.
Because our survey said we needed 2 more.
Yeah.
Our survey was
Actually,
2 more, Ms. Howard? 2 more? So we get money, we can put those in the budget. Okay.
actually, next year, we're gonna start including the elementaries on the police officer schedule, aren't we? Didn't that come up?
Yeah, they did talk, we talked about that.
The plan,
We're not doing it?
she
We gotta wait till the
reorganized,
money comes in, we gotta see how much money we're gonna get.
Mr. Sellier,
But it's still on the table. Okay.
but Mr. Sellier, wasn't there a bill that they were going to put money to school districts for safety, that they could be used for that?
I think that
That
died.
never
didn't
made it?
I don't know.
If I remember correctly,
All I know
that
is
died.
our TASB survey say we need 2 more officers, we're good on cars. So if we get money, we can buy 1, maybe 2.
At least one, yeah. Okay.
We split it.
Any other ones, sir?
That's it.
Okay, Mr. LaFoille.
That's the only thing I had was about the
Okay.
officers.
Mr. Macias, any other one?
Can you, I don't know who can explain the college and career ready class, $80,000. I mean,
What
there's
page,
no-
sir?
It's on page 8.
Page
It's
8.
9999. It's one of the 999 classifications. I wanted to just get an understanding of that, what that $80,000 is being spent on for that.
Well, it goes to curriculum for, Greek and Latin curriculum, it goes to our college board materials that we use that they use in that class. However, if we do SHJ programs, sir, it comes with free SAT prep, so we may be adjusting that.
Okay, so adjusting it how?
Because we wouldn't need to purchase as much, because SAT would come with free materials.
Okay.
For 6th grade, for anybody in the district, if we go with the full speed.
I see. So there's some flexibility then maybe with that SAT day program.
Yes.
I guess if you could also explain, remember we talked about that counseling hour or whatever, that hour where they're supposed to be doing college readiness stuff?
That's what this is.
That,
This is this
that, okay.
The other 2 days, they're supposed to be working with the little group they have on here, with letting them study or catching up with some work or that kind of stuff.
Okay.
They get a free call.
I see. Okay, well, it looks like then we can,
And we still, just, have a call in the Northeast, to Charleston High School, we cannot get anybody to respond.
Well-
And the district doesn't appear to know.
well, you've done your due diligence.
I called to make sure that
And of course, in the same area though, then, the PSSS and the PSAT, is that something we'll continue then,
Yes.
even with this day program?
Yes, sir, because those are the preps for SAT.
Mhm.
We get ready to step in 8th grade, PSAT, 10 and 11, that's where your merit scholars come from. And they're all the same type of questions as SAT. So in the end, those are your preps. You give the kids back the data, they know what to give online and study, and then you give the SAT as well.
One component of this, and I don't know more about the day program, we'll talk more about it, but just answer this question. We have these tax or star Saturdays, whatever we want to call them. I was hoping that that would be part of the component of this program. And if it's not, where's that money for those
So you're hoping
efforts?
to have a Saturday camp?
As an option as well
Well,
to,
if we do the SAT day program, the materials are free, and they don't care when you use them. So
Okay.
we could do some Saturdays with the free SAT prep.
Now, when we do that, does it cost us money? And where would I find it?
The teacher,
The teacher?
for an hourly fee.
I see. And it would be on this description
No,
then?
we're
It-
not gonna add Princeton Review is SAT prep. The quote we have is for each school to have enough slots for 300 kids each. 150 in the fall, 150 in the spring. 6 classes.
Well, that's all I have for right now.
Thank
Arnold.
you. Ms. Williams, you had another question?
Oh, just, I forgot the very first line, the board budget. They cut it like $112,000. I was just curious, because you gave us the budget for this year, but I just didn't know where those cuts were made then.
It's mostly the election costs.
Okay,
We're not gonna hold the election next year.
gotcha.
Oh, you're talking about the board?
Yeah, they cut the board budget at $112,000, so I was just curious where.
Now, but next year, we'll have to add it. Because
Well,
that'll be
sure,
another-
by year, well, yeah, yeah.
But it was budgeted
Okay.
this cycle.
Ms.
We don't have
Amy.
it next cycle.
Take it easy. I'm just kidding.
I got 30 minutes.
We got more than that. We got an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay. I'd like to see a similar sheet for the board for last year, for a comparison. This is cool,
Sorry, I'm trying
you
to-
know, the breakdown. Oh, thank you, Jackie. Looks nice. Just add a little line right there and put, just like on yours. And where you have budget 2012, 2013, is that actually where we are as amended, or is that what was initially proposed? Would that have included last Thursday?
Did you put off information you sent you?
Oh, I don't mean on this, I just mean on the overall.
Oh, on here?
Mhm.
No, this would have been on the department budgets. Those would have been as of, this is 90 days. It was the end of April, first week of May, I think it was the end of April. They ran all these documents sources down.
Okay, so look, the column that says 2012, 2013 is based on what the board voted on in April. Would that be accurate? Okay. April approved. Okay, so I'd like to know, how are we looking with our legal fees since we set aside $350 this year? How is it looking?
We've spent so far $268,000.
So we should be good to go. So the $350 should be accurate for next year.
You still calling the turn?
Actually, I'm going to propose we get 2 more.
You did not just ask that, Dr. Mason.
It's all right. Wait till he see the agenda item and he'll say, dang it. Why did we decrease the UIL?
Because of, is that 50,000 on your?
7,500. Item
What
726, Dr. Mackey.
What page?
Which one page?
Page 6.
That's the one I had.
6.
Which one you said?
UIL.
726. Why did
It's
you
under
decrease
Elizondo.
UIL? Are we expecting to not win as much? What do we do?
999?
No, while we make that proposal, Mr. Adair, is we look at this year, how much money we used.
We didn't spend as much?
We didn't spend as much.
Okay, cool. And then going down to the health advisory, we appreciate your giving us the money again.
Oh, man, don't be lucky if that go through. That'd be the first one we take away.
Yeah. I don't think they spent very much of it though.
No, they didn't.
So you could probably cut it in half. Don't tell them I said that. Sonny.
It's on record.
Hey, Sonny's listening, ma'am.
He's the health advisor, I know. The athletic department went up 10,000 just for GP,
What?
general principal.
Oh, no.
Why did they go up?
Well, and actually, they're probably going to have to even increase it more. I was telling Dr. Mackey, I won't put the thing, but we have bids out for student insurance.
Oh, that's right, it's time to do that again?
And they came, there's a significant increase, so we're probably going to have to adjust that one.
Okay. Well, we know all the insurances are definitely going up. Okay, so going on down, grant writer, we're putting more money into that. Did we make some money? Is it going to pay for itself? What are we doing?
The thing that we're thinking about on grant, well, I did talk to, what's the lady that left? Huh? Shawana Blair. I talked to her, and we kind of been partner with her this year on one grant, and if we partner with some more grants that we can pay them.
Like contract?
Yes.
Okay. And then special ed, what do we do? We're asking, we're saying we need 752,000 more.
That's on 803, page 6.
Talk to us.
Well, I didn't know if that, it's the contract services, all the special speech therapists and all those folks that we can't hire as employees. We're having to spend more money on contract services for special needs students.
But we're gonna do our pay increase and we're gonna hire the people, right, Ms. Howard?
They come.
I had a concern, and I don't know if this is the right number or not. I'd like to see some specifics on what we spent on nursing in that contract nursing that's board approved. Is that under the special ed? Special ed money? Yeah, I'd like to look.
There's some special ed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, LVN, RN. Do we have any LVN?
Yeah, we
Yes.
do.
Yes.
Break the LVN to cheaper and
Yes.
But when we contract with services, we pay a set rate for each one. Mr. Dare, would you clarify, do you want that both for special education and for the nursing program, or just?
Well, just where Mr. Zaya, we hired a lot of nurses from a contract company. Remember, we voted on that for the board? So,
Then we went to LVN too, and but you're telling me it's the same price either one?
Okay, so when we have hired LVNs, but when we have a vacancy we cannot fill with a substitute, we may have to go through a contract service.
Right, and that costs more.
Absolutely.
Are we paying the same price for an LVN and RN when we go out to contract?
No, there is a
Okay.
difference in the rates. I mean, it's less expensive,
but
but we get what they can send us that
They
day.
take 30% off the top.
At least, says the nurse.
yeah, but we did a lot, I think.
Would you please clarify, do you only want special ed?
And I just want to know about the nurses.
in-
You know, if we have X number of positions, you know, I've talked to a lot of nurses that live in the community that act like they want to work for the district till they meet our children. No, I didn't say that. Strike that from the record. But we hired a lot of contract nurses, and any of the contract stuff that we do cost us more money, even with TRS. So just want to caution, look at that.
What number was that, ma'am?
That was 803 special ed.
Oh, yeah, you told me. Oh, yeah, which still was special, okay.
Yeah, and the career tech money is coming out of Kate, right?
That's correct.
Okay. It makes it a little bit more difficult to understand what we're spending when we have it all together. So can you put an asterisk or something if it's not regular money? So if we didn't spend it on Kate, we couldn't spend it anywhere else. That would kind of help us know that we can't move it.
Well,
Does that make sense?
That's fine, but there's a lot of things on this state. For instance, special education is the same way. It's state special ed money, we can only spend it on special education.
Oh, is that right?
Kate, yes, Kate is that same way. Bilingual,
Oh, okay. All of the weighted stuff we can only spend in those programs? Okay, so when you, let me give you a example, and I don't see Ms. Lafreniere here, but going back to ag, and, you know, budget-wise, we have allocated money at the high school to pay for every student to be in FFA, right? Did I say that right? The question was asked, when you do your budget for next year, instead of paying for kids to be in FFA that don't want to participate, can any of the CAPE money be used to assist in where we charge the kids in the use of our barns or registrations, like when the other UIL people go, we pay for some of their UIL registrations, but in ag, the kids have to pay for everything. And I don't know what the laws are sufficiently to answer it, but I did say I would ask at budget time if we are allowed to do anything with and I know it's not really UIL, you know, I don't understand all the differences in ag and, but if y'all can kind of look at it, yeah.
I can tell you that the items that we charge the bills for, the fees, the tools, all of that's eligible to be paid out of the state, out of the career tax.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, as far as taking money from the FFA memberships and moving it to that, the part that I don't know is for FFA memberships, do they only sell like in blocks of 100 kids, 50 kids, or is it student by student, or do you have to do like a certain range of kids where, regardless of if it's fit or not, maybe you could find 100 at a time.
Oh.
So that's the part that I don't know.
That I don't know, Mr. Alexander, but what I do know is that the other school districts are not paying for FFA memberships for their whole student body. And so what it has done for us as a district, it gives us the largest club membership, but we have a very low participation rate in the events. And the last 2 years, Dr. Mackey has come and he's given to those kids that have those animals and stuff. But if there's a way we could take, we don't have any extra money, so if we had some of that money where we didn't charge the people for pen fees and tools, like you say, that would be great. I think that would help, and we wouldn't have so much complaints about we do more for athletics, because that's all I hear is the athletic part. Is that cool, Dr. Mackey?
Yes.
Bilingual went down because we changed to dual language, is that right? Okay. And that left those, and then we took away the band trip. We said we weren't going to do that anymore. And so that booster club, they are aware, so they know to start now raising funds for their.
We can take it away. That's the one we approved last year to go to New York.
I know, we said we was only going to do it one time, so we're not doing it, so it's taken away.
Right, that's why
Right.
it's not there.
So they know that they need to start preparing, because they did real well. Wish we had the money to do it. And then I had a highlight at accounting, and I wanted to know, Mr. Ozondo, you know, why you need less money? Because you're going to direct pay and making people. Hey, if you can't have fun here, what's the point, you know? Did you lose a clerk? How you get less money? I never want to give you less money. Yeah, I mean, you know.
No, we're fine. It's fine.
And the tax office is doing great. I know we talk about that every year, and I know there's an increase, but the community is very appreciative of the tax office. And so, you know.
Just so you know, that's for the fair appraisal district, and it doesn't matter who is elected, just who's have to pay that regardless.
Okay, fair appraisal. And we talked about insurance already. What happened with our warehouse? Are we air conditioning it, or what are we doing?
The $40,000 are two items that are in there. One of them is $15,000 expenditure. He wants to start a cardboard recycling program.
Oh, cool.
And so that's what it would cost to get that program kicked off. And they believe that it will either break even or
It'll be good for the environment.
and that's kind of the future difference between Mr. Asbury and Mr. Ashton. And the other item in there, $25,000, they have a dock, a loading dock that doesn't have all the mechanisms. So we want to go ahead and make it, get the ramps and everything so they can do that.
Cool.
These are areas that are wants, these are not needs. So this is kind of very first, that if we have to cut back on something. So we just put it on there, this is wants, not a need.
Well, just so you know, we know, then you can kind of get a feel. And for me, I think the loading dock is really a good safety thing. And I think the recycling thing is good, since we want to be talking about we're so green. Mr. Asbury has a lot of good ideas, and you know, surely we can give him that $15,000 from the money he saved, right, Mr. Kirshner? Mr. Kirshner thought I was going to let him escape tonight without bothering him. But going on down, I want to commend Mr. Gonzalez. You raised your money for the truancy. Does that mean we're getting another person, Dr. Mackey?
No, that's for the.
We're not going to put more.
For the monitors.
Well, that's what I mean. Are we increasing our program, Dr. Mackey?
Which ones, what number is that?
999, truancy.
Right here, on page 7.
Remember we talked about how they were doing so good? Then, Mr. Sal, you won't need so many cops.
Yeah, the truancy.
They had them little meepers on.
That's something, that's something we're looking at too. It depends on how funding is to add that.
But they moved from 820 to 999.
Right, but the money changed too.
Yes.
But it is, you are exactly right, it's for the
Monitors, it's the Ames program.
The Ames, yes.
That's what that was.
He would like to increase it. That's a want, not a need.
Okay, well, Mr. Flores isn't here, but Mr. Flores would say, if the kids are not in school, we're not
We
gonna,
don't make money.
we don't get the money, right.
I agree.
But now I have to, ask you, what are we doing with adult ed that we're spending $107,000 more?
You're asking the questions that I have.
She's, yeah,
We were,
it's because she's going line by line.
the official position for this training, or not getting, but we were, distributing Justin Journal.
Mhm.
And all those costs for Justin Journal were being borne by the company that was doing that, because they were raising advertising to do it. And so Adult Ed was using that to their publication to put all their Adult Ed offerings. Well, that company that was doing that said they're no longer interested in doing it because they're not sufficient advertisers to make it viable for them anymore. So they're giving off that back to us and we're not doing it anymore. So we think we continue to advertise the Adult Ed program. So the bulk of that money is for that advertising.
$107,000?
Printing of all of it.
How many times we print that? How many times we print that?
Yes, I know the Facebook. So that'll be coming.
We can go to two, one semester.
Well, I'd like to hear from the rest of the board.
What?
What do y'all think about $107,000
Once-
increase for printing that,
Right, that's only, that's part.
Putting what?
Well,
For
but
adult education.
the revenue of the advertising is down. My suggestion is we find another company to aggressively advertise this so we don't have to increase it.
And we talked
I
about
don't,
that.
It's a lot of money.
of course, if it's not profitable, why do you want to, if it's not profitable for them, but it's just like advertising on buses. You gotta work it. There's so many advertising dollars out there, you gotta work
somebody
it.
got to be out there.
We could,
Beating the
I got a
bushes.
hand raised over here. Oh, I thought you were raising.
we could go to twice a year, spring, one in the fall, and one in the spring.
For adult ed?
Yeah, advertise.
And remember that is tuition, I mean, people that do this classes, they pay money to attend, so it is a self-sustaining program.
We make enough money to pay that 107, and for all their books and everything that they do.
Making money, because we were gonna
Yes.
figure that out.
Okay, well, if we're making money and it doesn't cost us anything, then I don't care, but
But I like the idea that, what's it, you said, who said twice? Twice a year. Oh, I'm sorry. Dr. Mackey suggested maybe do it in the fall and in the spring. And I think that makes sense. Unless you all want three.
we can always have it updated on the web on a regular basis, and just only do the mail-outs twice a year.
Yeah.
I don't,
They
I
schedule
don't know,
everything,
do
they
we
do
get much,
everything.
do we get much feedback from
But I was gonna
newspapers,
say,
the letters we sent out, the newspaper?
What's that?
Do we get much feedback back from the
Advertise
newspapers we
the
sent out?
adult?
Toward the board president, the superintendent's message and all that, the adult education thing. Do we get much feedback?
We do get some feedback on that, it's part of the distribution, throughout the community, but there's, the places that we don't go, a lot are like stores and businesses, that we used to be able to penetrate when we did, systems. We discussed issues before, 3 of those issues we were involved in the ed. Now we're distributing three to involve food ed. We did go out to some of the stores and visit, with food ed now. But, it's a little difficult to really pin down the saturation, but it is going after a number of, through the businesses, you can't, get everybody.
I would
let
keep
me,
it,
I'm sorry, let me clarify, okay, the 107, that's part of the printing, and that's our goal. There's, the printing cost is not $107,000, okay, that's part of it, it's the largest part, it's approximately $40,000 for printing.
Okay.
It's $23,000 to purchase. They're gonna buy, purchase radios for each one of the adventure clubs. And again, that's a self-supporting program, so they can all communicate. And they also increased the budget for the instructors that we hire, because we have them coming in this year. Again, that revenue, the money to pay for them, they're being generated by that program itself.
Well, why is the Adventure Club included under adult ed? Why is that the right code?
Because they're in charge of that entire program, it's all under their program.
Oh, because they're in charge of it. Okay, well, when you come back, if you'll give us that broke down, a little bit more, so I don't think that we're actually, because, the bulk of our money, of course, has to go toward our students, and so it doesn't look like, because really, see, Adventure Club is our students, whereas adult ed is something community we're doing.
They have adventure club, community ed, and adult ed. I can
Yeah.
break that.
Okay.
Mr. Gonzalez wanted to say something.
The reason we have credit free edition is because we also have the summer program.
Oh.
Go ahead, give me a break.
I say keep it at 3.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree, because it's only 40.
If
I'm not following up, though, you gotta tell me.
Yeah, I'm good with 40. Ms. Williams wanted to talk.
Yes, ma'am.
I think I'm gonna let James have a break. The next couple lines are under 918, 919, and 922.
What page?
Page 7.
it's
We're
page
going right
7,
down
yes.
that line.
Yes,
So
yes.
just those, if you could explain those changes. Are you with me?
Yes, 90, so I'm sorry, so 918, 919?
Yep, child nutrition, it starts with the building and grounds was the one that I was looking at.
Building and grounds.
Or did you-
Building and grounds, I have not had the meeting with that for the record. Mr. Christian may be able to speak to that, Mr. Dumont. I can speak to the other two. Do you know, and you want to?
The bulk of that was looking at replacement of some vehicles that have more than 20,000 miles on it. We're looking at we do a lot of tree trimming in the district, and we have, and I was trying to work on something this year, but I couldn't get the donations, where we take that and we put in a dumpster. We have 2 dumpsters out there that we spend a lot of money on, and we're trying to back out. We can buy our own chipper.
Chipper.
Mulch. Truck, or we can mulch it, and we
Yeah.
can reuse it, we can get rid of both those dumpsters and do an offset. But the bulk of that is equipment and replacement vehicles.
How much is for the vehicles and how much for chipper?
We have that sheet in there.
I haven't seen it, I haven't looked at this information yet, so I don't know which one to approve.
This is his
Okay.
meetings tomorrow.
Right, everybody, we had planned this meeting for the 23rd, this budget meeting, so that meeting's scheduled for tomorrow, so we will have that.
Go ahead, child nutrition.
Okay, yeah, well, if you're gonna have that meeting tomorrow, if you can just get that to us after, but the child nutrition department, the $842,000.
Sure. Child nutrition has a number of items in that appropriate. A lot of it is additional food costs is the biggest part. Okay, I think $370,000 just for additional food costs.
Food is up.
It is.
The food costs are up?
Yeah.
We also included in there a lot of equipment replacement. As y'all know, they have very healthy fund balance.
Yeah.
And they went to the new director's gone through and evaluated a lot of their equipment and decided to need some replacement of that. And so, and again, they are self-supporting. And those are the major things.
Well, I can go to the other side too. It doesn't look like we're going to have to do price increase. Remember, we've had to do price increase for the last 2 years? Well, they sent out a stipulation that if our fund balance, districts had a fund balance over a certain percent, you will be able to waive a year of that price increase.
Cool.
But then you've got to put in a pay down schedule. How you're going to get your fund balance down so you can still decent amount. So this is all part of that. The TDA said, or not TDA, Texas Ag has already said, yeah, it's going to happen, but they haven't created the waiver process yet. So we're probably not going to have to come back with a price increase for the students for lunches this year. So that's why there's no offset in that budget to say we're getting this much more revenue that we're raising. It's also part of it.
And the other thing we're doing with that, it's not reflected in this number, but just to kind of give you more information, we're able to charge the child nutrition program an indirect cost.
I was going to ask you about that.
Right. And so for this current year, for 12-13, that number is going to be right over $1 million.
Cool.
And so what happens is we can transfer that money from child nutrition to the general operating fund. And for next year, 13-14, it's going to be a light amount, about $1 million. Now, once we do that, they may get a point where their fund balance is already to a level where we don't want to do that anymore.
very much.
But I thought we talked possibility of, would it be possible to plan for one cafeteria in one of the elementaries that don't have one? Remember, we talked about that? What's the possibility?
I think the cost of that, like, we're looking at $2 to $2.5 million.
Right.
I think we would deplete it, we'd be on that, we depleted too much in one shot.
Oh,
I think what he's talking about, we do a little bit this year, we could take some of the indirect costs out there and you could put that in a kind of a holding pocket.
for the following
Features.
budget. Oh, okay.
It's not that it can't happen, it's just.
No,
this year I
right,
don't think it's the
right.
best time to do it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
And then the next one was the transportation.
The largest amount there of those
Yes.
entities is they're gonna buy they're wanting to buy a software program that allows them to, when the buses come in to the gates, it will monitor the cameras that are on the buses to ensure that all the cameras are working properly. And if they're off, something of the transmission department, like the camera isn't working properly. And it will also allow them to download all the information, automated from the cameras to their service so they can have all the data.
Just when
And-
you drive through.
Oh, I like
How
that.
cute.
I
What
like
was
that.
the cost?
You gotta pull it, take it in.
Right.
Right.
That's
go out,
big,
go Put it
yeah.
back out again, and this will be an automatic system. That's also hardware, it's not just software, it's software. Correct.
And what's that cost out of the 71,000?
It's right at 50.
And the other 20 or so
And
is?
then there's another amount here, I think $11,000 for a Freon recovery.
Yeah.
But that's required.
Yeah, it's very.
If we don't have it, then we have to get somebody to come do it.
Right, that's what I mean.
Costs
It's
more.
required. Okay.
Okay.
So pay now, or we do it ourselves and buy the equipment? Okay.
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 And then-
I'm next?
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry,
I mean,
you're
I
still
had asked
working.
the
I'm
next
sorry.
couple, the custodian one, and then after that, it jumps down. We have-
Custodian,
yeah.
where?
Um,
Oh,
950.
950?
Mhm.
Okay. 365?
We have a centralized, in our school district, instead of giving every school a certain amount of money for custodial, we do it for centralization. And then that individual manages all the money for our district. The majority of these funds are for equipment. They have a lot of equipment that needs to be replaced, it's old, and that's what the majority of these funds are. There's a little bit there for increase, because the big towns have gone up a little bit, but they're going up a little bit, but the majority is for equipment.
I'd like to know, Dr. Mackey, from when you do your administrative review with your principals and stuff, how do they find that working, having the custodial staff and their supplies and equipment? Because we took this, when we made this account, and correct me if I say it wrong, Ms. Elizondo, we took the money back from the schools and created this district-wide. And at the time, a lot of the schools did not want to give up their money to the central office. And now all of the people that wanted that at that time are no longer here at the district. So I'd be interested to know how the principals feel, if they feel they could better manage handling their own custodial funds.
Well, at this time, we have a number of schools that have their own custodians and have their own, and then we have a large amount that the district handles, and that's because the principals make that choice, which way they want to go. Now, if you handle your own custodians, then you handle your supplies and everything. But if you don't let the district handle the custodians, then they handle the supplies.
We've allowed them to take their money back?
That's what we're talking about.
Mr. Elizondo? The principal said they did not.
The personnel, yes.
The personnel, of course,
But the actual buying supplies, that's still handled.
that has to be by the district office.
Yes, it's actually handled by Mr. Morales, who's.
I think we need to do it like that. If they handle their own custodians,
agree.
then they keep that. But if they don't want to do that, then I think I think that the district needs to do that. I think we need to do the same thing with the hiring procedures. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, just, I mean, we can do whatever we all
Yeah.
want, but just to tell you why we did this. A lot of the schools, towards the end of the year, they're running out of toilet paper, they're running out of money for their supplies. So we said, why can't y'all manage it? And so they kept coming to us. Some of them started sending things home with their kids, saying, hey, can you bring toilet paper to school as part of the supply list? And we said, we're not going to do that.
No.
So we took it away from them and said, we're going to take care of it. You will never need to worry about whether you have enough money to buy toilet paper. We're going to take care of it. And the other thing was that they needed to buy, they needed to buy equipment.
They're
And it was very
managing
expensive
the
for
part
each
of the
one of the schools to go out and buy their
They're
own
managing
equipment.
your funds.
So we said, no, we're going to centralize it, so we can go buy one of these big giant buffer machines, and it costs $15,000. So this school doesn't have to worry about buying that, we're going to buy them all centrally, and as we need them for whatever we're doing, we're moving them around the campus.
But
That's why
everything,
we did it.
but Jose, if I remember correctly, everything was in the warehouse.
That's correct.
The warehouse bought bulk.
That's right.
Now, if Kitty Hawk needed 3
didn't
cases
have
of
bulk.
paper towels, Well, they would put the requisition, right, if I remember correctly. It comes through you all, then you also correct it from the budget, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that still
And
happens,
that's-
but now it's happening from the central location
Yeah.
instead of each campus.
Yes, okay.
But we're still buying.
But
in
that's a
bulk,
good
putting
thing.
in the warehouse.
They would spend the money on other things.
That's the point.
And then the equipment would break, and then the schools would mildew. I mean, it was a lot of.
But that's the point. And so what we did is we said, you're not a good manager, you're not a good leader, so we're going to do it for you.
Yes.
And I have a problem with that. We're paying principals good money to be leaders, and part of being a leader is managing it
Managing the
at all.
What do you
Yes,
suggest we do
because
about it, Mr. Dare?
I suggest the principals be responsible for their campuses, because whenever there's a problem, you know what they tell you? Oh, he don't work for me.
But you're asking our principals to,
To do
manage
what?
our toilet paper? I mean, all of ours, I mean.
If
that's-
you are owner of a business, wait, if you're the owner of a business and you have a building, a company, you have to take care of your personnel, your supplies, your maintenance. You know, it's not just,
I
that's,
don't know. I don't know about some of that.
But Nancy has a good point when she said.
Oh, I know.
They were
She's telling the
spending that
truth.
money for something else.
And
Well,
Mrs. Williams,
but
did that
has
make
to
it
be
right?
Directed, yes. It has to be say, this money is only for custodial expense, period.
they knew what that money was for.
And typically, like you were saying, comparison of a company, the owner of the company is not gonna go do that. They're not gonna go manage toilet paper.
They have a
They're
person.
gonna give it to the person to do it.
That's right.
And the school's gonna do the same thing, they're gonna give it to the head custodian.
Exactly. That's what I'm
If the
saying.
custodian
Yeah,
messes
that-
up,
Right.
then there's a problem still needs to be fixed. And
Yeah.
ultimately, they're gonna come to the school district and say, hey, I'm on toilet paper, what are you gonna do? I need more money.
We had a principal who came to the ERC and took all the toilet paper out of every bag.
She's not lying, she's not lying.
No, I know she's not lying. I know she's not lying. I can talk about which schools did what, but
The toilet paper out of both buildings and everything, no, it wasn't me. But it did happen.
Now, Kirshner,
that's fine.
Mr. Kirshner, I got a question for
Well,
you.
I just want to make one comment about that. Today I met with the Tazewell representatives, and that was one of the first things they asked me, is your custodial centralized, or you have it spread out on the campuses? I said, well, we're kind of in a situation right now, and they said, district to district to district, the way to do it is to centralize. It save more money, it save time,
That's what they said.
personnel and everything.
It
All
sounds
needs to
like
be
you'd
one
save
central
money.
Body handling it and distributing. it to
Well, the
campuses.
budget, yes.
That is one recommendation.
You're talking about the budget, but what about, so what did they say about the people?
Same thing.
They said the people should be centralized.
But what'd they say about the toilet?
That's interesting.
Okay, I got a question.
Couldn't help
I
it.
got a question for you. Wasn't it done that way a few years back? Everything was centralized, everybody worked under one person?
That was before me,
Yes.
but
And wasn't there a problem on when the custodian ordered stuff? He had to wait for it for a long time? I remember this. I remember Park Village alone running out of toilet paper more than once.
He gonna call out the names. I didn't call out the names.
Running out of wax for the floors.
A long time ago, Mr. LaFleur?
Yes,
It was
sir.
all being handled by the campus.
Right.
It was.
At that time, it wasn't. It was
They were-
ordered from maintenance,
No.
and it did not
From the
come in.
warehouse, from the warehouse. They ordered everything
Yeah,
from the
where's
warehouse.
the warehouse?
Yeah.
The warehouse didn't deliver. Then what do we do?
Is it a problem right now? That's my question. What we're doing now is a problem.
Some of the cleaning is a problem when you ask them about it.
Here's Salyer's little thing.
Okay.
Okay, hit it out.
When I go into a school, one of the things I make sure I do is go into the restroom and check it. Because if you have a good principal, that means they're doing management by walking around and checking everything. I'm an old architect.
Yes, sir.
attention to detail.
Yes, sir.
So if that restroom is dirty, it is not the custodian's fault, it is the principal's fault. Now, you have to go A and B here, Gene. A is that principal's in charge of that campus.
Right.
Okay? If there's an issue with cleaning, that's the principal's job. Now, supplies is a totally different thing. Supplies is just a supply issue, okay? It's bullets and meat. Okay? I think that supplies should be central office, okay? Because you will save money. You're gonna save money because you track it.
Yeah, I can support that. You said Tazewell said it? Not a problem.
You can say track it, but if some principals don't want to, take control of their custodians, well, that's their management style. But if I walk in there and I see a dirty restroom,
You saying they still responsible even if
Yes,
they don't take?
absolutely. They are responsible. Principals
They're
are
responsible
responsible.
for everything.
Yes, on that
That
campus.
principal's responsible for
Yes.
everything. If there's a dirty restroom, and I'm gonna tell you right, this is my little secret here, 'cause, okay, I check that, and I check the parking lot. If the parking lot's dirty and the restrooms are dirty, I got a red flag, because that's at attention to detail.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well, I will tell you that I have had principals tell me that the custodian doesn't work for them.
Yes.
So since you've given me a good understanding, the next problem, I'll just call Dr. Mackey.
If you go back, and what does the law says? Every employee on that campus is under who?
The principal.
That's right. I don't care if it's food service, I don't care if it's custodian, maintenance, if they own that campus at that time, that's who they're under the directions of.
All righty.
Here's the problem.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, here's the problem. I seen it today.
Okay, tell
The
us, Richard.
custodian there, the head custodian's at the Park Village during the day, right? Am I right? He's doing everything but custodial work. He's going around putting up lights, he's going around fixing pencil sharpeners, he's going around doing this, going around doing that. The thing is, the poor guy don't have time to go in and mop the floors and everything. He stays overtime every day and doesn't put it down. Now, that's
Can't
just
do that,
one
Mr.
school.
That's illegal.
That's illegal, he cannot do that.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you got 30 things to do and it's time to go home, you don't walk out, because if you do,
you
Siler's gonna come in and see it on the floor being dirty, and we're gonna be in trouble.
You get approval from your supervisors to stay overtime. You do not stay out overtime without approval from your supervisor.
All right, get
Without being
approval. If he
paid.
gets approval, he
You
gets
have to
paid
get
for
paid.
it. Then we're gonna go over budget.
You don't have a choice. If he stays there, by law, you have to do it.
Because of an accident. If an accident.
No, it don't have nothing to do with that. It has to do with fair labor.
No, that's fair labor.
Yeah,
fair labor
I know,
stuff.
that's what I mean.
Some of that's maintenance work, so we'll
Yes.
revisit that with the principal's
Yes, okay.
I think the whole thing, the problem is they're putting too many
I'm
square
with the
footage on
same
that one
It's
custodian.
24,000 square feet.
Too many square feet on it. Poor guy busts himself silly. And that ain't the only
trying to
school
keep
to
you
get
busy.
it. You
I
go up
just
the
checked all the
street.
bathrooms.
Parking.
I just checked all the
I've mopped the
bathrooms,
floor
those
at
are good.
lunchtime, Dr. Mackey.
I know you work hard on
I
this.
mopped the floor at lunchtime, and I swept that floor at lunchtime. And
I know you have.
the
Mr.
thing is,
Don't be letting him do that, Mr. Lee.
no, the thing is, they never give me overtime.
You be done failing.
No, we're gonna have to look at that custodial thing. I know they told you that's what they desire, but the thing is, when the poor guy's working himself silly and he's not getting ahead.
Mr. Kirsten.
We got 2 women and 1 man at one school.
So Mr. Kirsten will review the custodian.
Good, come on over while I'm
And
there.
Miss
We can
Howard's
do it
going to
together.
put the word out that they're getting a raise. and
That's any
You're going to have
time
more
of day
people
and night
apply.
almost.
We'll get you a
Yeah.
shirt, you want this with oil on it or Richard?
Nope, I wear my own shirt, I do it every day.
Okay, my turn. Let's go to page 5.
Page 5.
Performing Arts Center, 50,000. Why are we taking away 25,000? We don't need it? Page 5,
Page 5 where?
007.
He's looking at, yeah.
007.
The PAC.
Oh, the PAC. Why did you cut their budget?
They replaced, this current year, in 12-13, they replaced, I can't remember if it was their audio or video, they replaced something that was a big component like that, or a projector, something like that, so they're not gonna do that this next year, that's why.
Okay, just.
And they're doing a good job over there. It's always clean.
Okay, she already asked about this, they already asked. Oh, grant writer.
You just told us.
No, the grant writer, do you think, do we have to look into possibility of hiring a full-time grant writer?
No, he just told us he's going to do contract, Mr. Lane.
I'm just asking the question. Is it, do you think it's time? What do you think, sir?
What's asking?
Or is this working?
And about that toilet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Dr. Mackey said maybe in a year we're gonna talk about it. Very good.
Talk about what?
We look at that.
Something I can play.
Adult, she already asked. Safety communication.
All of these.
Nancy talked about the curriculums. summer school end of course, 300,000, but now we're not gonna,
Which number, I'm sorry.
page 8, Nancy?
Page 8, okay, I'm on.
On the third last item, summer school, end of course,
Yes, sir.
300,000. That's the same one that we budgeted for the summer, but we didn't have to use it all, but you're just playing it safe that we better have enough. Okay, because this year, maybe more kids might go. Okay.
The main budget, if you look at this, it's a proposed budget.
Yeah, we know.
And we're just guessing, our best guess and what we do.
That's fine. Okay, that's all. Yes,
I
sir.
did have a question.
Yes, sir.
I just need to ask. We saved some money from the election, so where's that extra money going?
There's no extra money. We just,
So there's no extra money, so if we would have had elections
That
in
was
2
funny.
years, then what happened? So I want to just know that we're allocating it somewhere. So
You had just been stuck with it anyway.
Where is it going?
We have so much revenue that comes in, we have so many expenditures.
Yeah.
Anything that we save, and we're trying to balance those, right? So that $112,000, if we try to increase some of the kind of expenditure, it just gets shuffled. So that, the idea is to end up at the end of the year with a zero balance. When we look at revenues and expenditures. So it all gets used. If for some reason we got so much more revenue that we're not gonna expend it, that just goes all into the fund balance.
But wait a minute, sir. Remember, TASB now is not gonna be freebie.
Right.
That's right.
The registration now, we're gonna have enough?
No, it's not gonna be,
Oh,
it's not gonna be enough, it's not gonna be free.
that's not gonna be enough.
Now, starting after June.
Starting after
That's
June, nothing's
actually-
free no more.
So that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, our budget's gonna be off.
We take that into consideration?
That's, yeah, they charge a
which
lot.
number?
The board.
You know what
on,
he's saying.
825, sir,
Let
on
us look
page
at-
7.
Let us look at what y'all attended this past year and what it would have cost us in those same events, and then discuss.
No, no,
Look at the
we didn't
previous
spend that
year.
last year because they haven't charged it for 2 years.
2 years,
Than those
yeah.
events normally,
Yeah.
we'll add the registration for that in there.
I was gonna say, please don't look at last year. I didn't do very much last year because I had a baby.
Yeah.
he works in Houston.
National, what?
Are we gonna increase our budget this year since there's more money?
No, wait a minute.
No, we're asking
National
about,
is gonna be in New Orleans. I'm not
Do we
going.
increase our budget so there's more money for
No,
us?
New Orleans, I'm not going.
Yeah, we need to give
Oh,
us our money back
yeah.
we gave you last year.
Dr. Mackey will
We
go
need
to
our
New
money.
Orleans.
Yeah, I will.
Well, I definitely go.
No, they're looking to that, right? sir? Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because Jose is.
That was a good thing.
But
Okay, Jose,
I brought up,
Yes, sir.
you had another one? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. LaFoy was talking.
I
In
said on
relation
my
to-
budget, are we gonna increase our budget this year, or we're gonna leave it at 3,000?
He gonna give us more money, Richard.
Because it was 6 and we brought it down to 3.
Right.
but
Let's
now
wait
we're
and
gonna
see
have
what
to
the
pay for
state
stuff.
says.
Considering
Yeah,
Mr.
I think we
LaFoy
ought
was
to
the one
get
that
more anyway.
voluntarily reduced
I know.
our budget.
Yes, let's wait for the state.
I don't turn back much money every year.
I know. That's good, thank you, Mr. LaFleur.
I turned back almost everything this year, so.
You
I
don't get no
did too,
interest
so
on
I
it, Richard, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, this is all this
Getting
proposed,
solid.
and we just gotta wait until they end next week on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then we'll start getting an idea of what.
Yeah, I read something for tonight that's going to Perry to be signed.
There it goes.
It haven't
He's
even,
thinking
even
about
cleared both houses.
Veto now.
I know he
Read
is.
about the bill.
I think we ought to
TRS
veto
bill.
Oh, the
him.
TRS bill.
Yeah, that's
Oh, I
what-
get a raise?
The only one.
yeah, you've been,
Will you get off of that
Yeah, I've been
raise
since
thing?
1999.
15 years, yeah.
Oh, 15 years, I thought it was 11, my God.
He's focused on
I'm
his
not getting
own
old.
pay here.
They're growing too fast. Okay.
All right, I do have one
Yes,
final
sir.
question about the intensified algebra under Ms. Robinson on 999. I do see that we added 93,000 to the first in math, but we did take out 7. Is there a correlation between that?
No,
What number are
First
you
Math
on?
is a program that we got partially free this year to experiment, and it helped that all of the elementary math scores went up, the kids loved it. So we're gonna budget for it now. We've tried it out, it did work, it did produce results. Intensified algebra, we base every year on the amount of kids in it.
Okay, how many kids were in the program last time? I suspect we're reducing, that's why there's a reduction in cost. How many students, though, roughly are benefit from the intensified algebra?
This is for ninth grade students that come in out of eighth grade.
I see.
They're placed in ninth grade and they're not on grade level. So instead of them falling further and further behind,
Yeah.
intensified algebra is a 70-minute class. isn't it 70 minutes? Yes. And they go ahead and they catch them up, plus they go back and get that 8th grade stuff they didn't get.
It's really been good.
And algebra.
Don't you think, Ms. Bear? Don't you think that's been really good?
So is that for teachers? Is that 54, the 46,000 is the materials?
This is material.
Okay, just one.
Yes, sir. And it's for 9th grade.
No, it's the same.
Cool.
I just-
All right, well, thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome. And I can give you exact numbers if you want.
Let's close it up. We're done with that.
Yes.
Which report?
Okay, any other question? On the budget? Huh?
I don't think we're there
On
yet.
the reports?
We're going to that.
Yes, sir.
I got that right on top of my list.
Are you ready to jump to subs?
We can jump to subs. I'm gonna jump back in a minute. Go ahead.
Oh, no,
Then do you
no,
want to
no.
finish?
Let's
Well,
go
let's
ahead.
finish this
Let's
then
finish
and then
this
go to
then.
subs.
I know you told us you moved $1 million, but you still increased Mr. Young's area. 567,000 was that for?
He is going to ultimately, I think, more than that increase, over $80,000 campus-based.
Yes, he is.
Campus-based technology?
Yeah, so there's 79,000 for mobile computers, high school, more by your average. You know, both high schools are lacking the number of computer labs due to overcrowding. But a large majority of those funds, 730,000 are starting our long-term replacement plan. It's supposed to be spread out over 5 years to keep recycling, start paying year by year, some replacement of computers so we don't get hit with a very large.
Which is what you had in that plan that you gave us, right?
Right.
So you're following the plan?
This is the lowest cost of the option. This, over that 5 years, it's about 3.5 million. Remember, our technology bond is 6
Right.
million. So this is utilizing either, high warranty, long warranty used computers or low cost. Some combination of that type of situation, but at a relatively low unit cost over that 5 years.
Well, Dr. Mackey, I had some complaints that all of the elementary schools weren't being treated the same on computers. Yeah, that some of the elementary schools were getting iPads, is that what they're called?
If the principals purchase them, yes.
And I tried to play it off, and I said, well, you know, some are Title I, and some are non-title, and the schools are, and I was told that was not true, that some of the Title I schools weren't getting them, and some of the title schools, like Park Village, got them, and Ed France didn't, and
We don't determine how their campus money's spent. They're given X amount of title money. Some principals buy workbooks, some buy computers, some buy.
And I can address that from every elementary classroom is set up in a standard fashion. Teacher computer, or student workstations, which were just upgraded this year, document camera projector, that's standard across every standard classroom in the district. Now, all those things y'all just talked about are additional campus choices, or maybe part of the program that's separate.
well, and I have to bring it to Dr. Mackey's attention, because even though it's a principal decision, the community doesn't see it as such. The community feels like it's a have and a have-not, and some students are getting more than others. And so, as the superintendent, I think he needs to be aware that some principals are making decisions to buy equipment, and some students have access, and then when they talk to people at church, then, well, my kid has this, why don't we have this at our school?
Sounds like
So-
my
Can I
children.
say one thing, sir? For elementary, just today, Dr. Mackey and I met with Ms. Howard and Mr. Elizondo. We're starting with personnel next year, kind of standardizing where that money goes, because some people are buying this and some are buying that. So we don't have a district program for
Yeah.
Title and State Comp Ed, where you can say, send this person once a month for training and bringing their data. So we're gonna start with personnel, because we really do feel like we do have a lot of stuff. What we need is really help for that classroom teaching. And
Outstanding.
so rather than adding a bunch of specialists or asking for a bunch, we're trying to standardize the help on the campus itself.
Is that where, because that was the next area, where you changed the math and the language arts, where those figures changed? Like, you know, where they went down, is that, you know, in your areas of 816, 815?
Oh,
The
the
decreases?
specialist budget?
Mm-hmm.
It's just because some years they buy stuff for secondary, and then the next year they buy for elementary. So
Oh, okay, so you
it's
just
not-
move it around.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And we're talking about Title and State Comp Ed funds.
Oh, for the standardizing. GT, that's always another area that we get a lot of phone calls on. Can you tell me you lowered their budget? Are they going to be calling me? Well, the AA, what's the AA? We lowered
That's
21,000.
advanced academics. That's advanced academics.
That's at the high school?
That's Midland High School. So it's all of those pre-AP classes, pre-IB, and then IB and AP.
So you didn't need to buy as much? Is that why that's
No,
lower?
because College Board is going to kick in some pieces.
And so you just basically took that 21,000, moved it up into the GT program? So it kind of turned into a wash?
GT program's elementary, and they're in need of more help, and I get some parent feedback as well.
If, when school gets ready to start, if some point along, Dr. Mackey, if you could, have a little 5-minute thing on the outstanding programs we have, kind of brag a little bit online, because the people are really watching these board meetings at home. So GT people, dual language people, there's certain programs, and I don't even know who they are. Those people are really watching. So we're giving them more money, we're doing more, brag on yourself a little bit.
Well, and just so you know, because we put testing, we educated people on testing. In the past, this end of the district nominated lots of kids.
We remember.
That end nominated very few. Well, we changed the matrix. We did a lot of education. And so now, part of this increase is because we've increased the amount of kids. In
Which
the
is so
schools
great.
we want to.
And we increased it across the board, so we have a more well-rounded GT
That's-
program.
Exactly.
Yes, I see, you got to say all that so they know, because I think that's outstanding. Skipping on down to that one that Mr. Macias asked about, I want to say that's great, that first in math. The only question I had on the math was, where did we go, Mr. Simmons? We were somewhere, and they were talking about how important it was to the algebra in middle school. So are counselors maybe being a little bit more aggressive in pushing kids into 8th grade to algebra?
We have 2 pathways to get into Algebra 1 now, and we get used to in the past.
You mean in the
We
8th
have-
grade?
Yes, ma'am, because we have a tag math now and a pre-AP. Both complete that Algebra 1 and 8th grade. In addition, next year, we're spending, our big focus, next year, we're going to be working with Dr. McLeod, is what does an advanced academics kit look like? What's the face of advanced?
Oh, geez.
College ready, and we're going to focus on that all next year. The counselors have a full curriculum that we'll be working with on that topic alone.
I'd like to know some numbers when school gets ready to start on how many kids do we have in 8th grade algebra. I have to tell you, I have a kid that's, really great in science, he's engineering, and it was never suggested to me as a parent for him to take algebra in the 8th grade.
Because we didn't.
I know.
We didn't have.
I know. So just hope yeah, she's trying to say I'm old. I am. My last kid's graduating. And we don't need as many books for the literacy program. I'm almost to the end, Richard.
No, you put some, here's what we did. We completely outfitted middle school 2 years ago. Last year I asked for some for elementary, but there's so many more elementaries that would have been cost prohibitive, I think, to have done. So now this year we're putting a little bit more.
Just gonna finish them out.
Yes.
And somewhere in this budget, under the high school, or somebody, did we get enough calculators for pre-cal this year?
For pre-K.
Pre-cal.
Oh, pre-Cal. Yeah, we're picking up the next grade level, and that's under IMA.
Okay.
And it'll be done. So that's under the.
Thank you.
Okay,
Great.
I'm sorry,
I was done.
we have to follow the agenda. We
Oh,
finished
we have
all
an
this,
agenda.
the first one is C, the next item was C. Termination report, campus, and termination report by campus and reason. Anybody have any questions on that one?
No, Mr. Flores isn't here,
Okay.
so.
D,
Wait,
year-to-date substitute usage report by campus and reason.
Wait, he
He
had his
wants
hand
sub,
up.
no sub.
Yeah, that's the next
Very
one.
ready.
Oh, okay.
D,
All that was requested was the usage to date at the time that this report was generated. And so you can see there, the total expenditures by campus. And then you also have a usage report, that was given to you. Now, the usage report will break down by campus the absence reasons that were submitted to the ASOP
ahead, Chief.
If you could bear with me just for a minute, follow me on this, I want to show y'all something.
Okay, I'm ready.
Bear with me,
Okay?
and it comes back to what we did for this tonight.
Okay, which
Go to
page are you on?
Go to page 21 for Judson High School. We'll make you bounce around.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
they don't go out there.
Yeah, it's page 21.
21.
They don't got that page.
Where?
Down here, yeah,
Yeah.
No, the
they're all say 11.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about this one?
Judson High School.
We're looking at
Judson
our
High
iPad.
School.
but look
Oh,
for
right
Judson
here,
High
the very
School.
first one.
No,
Here it is,
it looks
right
like,
here.
it looks
It
like.
looks like this?
It's this sheet right here.
About
Yeah,
middle.
but on here it's not. They all say 11.
Oh, wait.
Page
21.
Substitute usage
Four.
report.
Oh, year to
Substitute
date.
usage.
Okay.
Okay, now I
It doesn't
got
have
it.
21 on there.
That's okay.
It
This
just says 11.
But they're all saying page
Every one of
11.
them.
Yeah.
Ready? I'm gonna make it, yeah.
Okay, we're ready now.
Okay, everybody got it? Now,
Yes, sir.
follow me,
Back in.
Okay?
Where is it, Judson High School?
Judson High School. Everybody there?
That's not 21.
Judson,
So I'm gonna make you do this three
That's not
times.
21.
so-
Oh, that's not?
okay, Judson High School.
Okay, vacancy position, look at the hours.
Well, that's okay. Go to Judson High School right down.
Yeah, I got a star by
Well, look at the total hours, 2,738. Okay? If you look at, that's 25 to 30% of all the hours are vacancies at our high school.
Okay.
Now, flip down, let's just make this easy for you. Let's go to, let's pick,
middle school.
let's pick Crestview, okay? Crestview, that's up a little bit, that's on my page 18, it's like 3 pages up.
Okay.
Crestview,
Everybody
okay?
got Crestview? Vacancy positions, 98 hours, total hours missing 528, little less than 25%. Everybody agree? Like,
Mhm.
you know? Let's go here, let's find the middle school here. I'm gonna go to middle school, bear with me.
There's Jefferson Middle School.
No, use Kitty Hawk.
You want to use
Judson
Kitty
Middle
Hawk?
School?
Yeah, use Kitty Hawk.
I don't care.
Well, we have
Let's use
to,
Kitty Hawk.
found
Kitty
it.
Page
Hawk.
23 and on.
Vacancy, 22, 23.
Mm-hmm.
Vacancy position 405,
Mm-hmm.
total 1282.
Mm-hmm.
My point here is, you know me, I'd love to put this in graph and charts and all that, but I definitely have the raw data, okay? And I could have charted this and showed you exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay.
When you look at every campus in here, when you look at substitutes, 25 to 35% is vacancies. Vacancies, exactly what we talked about Thursday night. We're using substitutes to fill positions where there's no permanent teacher.
Is that right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so he's making
Yeah.
the exact point you were
Yes.
trying to make.
That's the point.
Yes,
If you
that's
look at
correct.
this, go
Because
through it, if you
sometimes-
But wait,
Get your calculator.
we have 25 vacancies, I mean, how many in the
25%.
high school?
25%.
How many?
Percent.
20, here's, okay, look at, when you look at the, okay, go back to Judson High School, Mr. King,
Okay.
okay? Look at the, look at what it says, the very first line. Something,
Okay, hold on.
find Judson High.
Okay,
School.
Judson High School.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
That was on page 5.
I did some of these calculations.
So 751 was the hours.
751, vacancy positions, that means we use substitute teachers 751 hours where there was no teacher hired.
Days.
Days.
And that's a
I'm
year.
sorry, I said days.
Okay.
No teacher hired.
None.
Of the total days used was 2,731, that's one-third.
If you're talking about a teacher is 185 days?
187.
No, but my
So-
point
No,
is,
no, no.
the total day
Yeah.
at Judson High School
Yes.
that we had to hire a substitute for was 2,738 days. Of those 2,738 days, 751 of those days were used because we didn't have a full-time teacher to put there. And if you go through and do the numbers on all of them, they're 25% to 33%. So my point here is we've been kind of beating up this substitute, and I've been beating it up worse until I got this data. I'm thinking teachers are taking off. 1/3 is because we can't hire the teachers to fill those slots.
Wait a minute, that doesn't sound.
I don't agree with that.
We can hire those
Right.
teachers. However, I'm not able to hire them in a timely fashion.
There we go.
And so some of these can be a teacher that for 30 days we can't hire because of board
Which comes
approval.
back, see, which
So-
comes back to
Yeah,
what
that's
we
true.
did Thursday night. See, you got these days, you
I'll tell you,
can't
I got
hire
a
a
point.
teacher for
I'll let
30,
you-
you can't hire these teachers for 30 days. So part of that 751 is.
It's
teachers
part of that
can't hire
30
for
days,
30
because there was a vacancy.
Not all of them, but
Yeah,
yes.
that's
Right,
not,
yeah, but I mean, you
Got
know,
a good
if you look at the
percentage.
numbers,
It's not all of
when
them,
you
some.
look at the numbers, when
but
you
you
look
can't
at
do
the
this,
numbers,
you can't do the stats like that, and I'll tell
you
you
know,
why.
it's illness,
I
it's
have,
real
I don't agree
illness,
too, I have a point.
Okay, you go first.
or campus business league. Part of that, look at the campus business, we did that to ourselves by trading and all that. So what I'm saying is, we got a 25% to a third of it because we haven't been able to hire teachers on timely manner, in a timely manner, and that's why our subsidy is so high. So that measurement point, Mr. Macias, that you're talking about,
Yeah.
this should go down
I was,
this year.
well, when you finish,
Okay,
I'll
I'm done.
Well, I do agree. I think this is actually very quantifiable data, Steve, Richard. I
Yeah.
think we look at a year-over-year comparison of what things look like. The following year, we'll see if it's impactful. But I'm under the impression that a large part of our substitute dollars are to permanent subs, that
That's the
principals and assistant principals, that these campuses employ to be a part of the staff through those funds. In fact, that does, I have to ask, how many are permanent subs?
Currently,
We'll
we
come
do
back to
not
you.
have
Same
any
question.
permanent subs in the system.
Well, what would you call them then, the ones that are
Long-term.
long-term?
Long-term.
Well,
And the long-term subs
Uh-huh.
fall under vacancies. Now, there's very specific rules why we have to categorize them as vacancies, because TRS requires that we designate that, because some retired professionals may not fill a vacancy.
Yeah.
And so the designation for vacancy is very specific. Those long-term subs that you think are permanent, that is the number they are filling.
well, I'm just interested in the percentage. How much of that 25%, if we broke
Yeah,
that
that's
down?
why it's not
long-term?
accurate. When you did the math, you can't really do it like that, Steve, because that's not exactly what this portrays. No,
Yeah,
because,
it does.
wait,
Oh, yes, it does.
wait. When you do the 30%, how many of these
long-term.
people that are on leave were subs for regular teachers?
There's a
It's broken
difference.
down like this. It's broken down. that
Which
they're
ones of
filling.
these, okay, so,
Very
There's,
first number in
there's a
each school.
difference. If a teacher is on leave, it's
Right.
designated as leave. It's either
Leave.
approved
so
leave,
the 751,
those are
sticking with,
actual vacancies.
Yeah, vacancy.
yes.
Vacancy day.
But out of the 751, you had 2,738. So even if we round off the 700, you still had 2,000 left. Right?
Okay,
But
now,
you
yeah,
divide
that's,
2,700 by,
okay, but you look at that, Mr. Dare, if we look at that, you're absolutely right. However, you look at 563 days is a campus business leave, and that is for business leave, professional development.
Yeah.
That's 560. Then you go down to like your UIL, school business
Yeah.
days for that too.
The
So that's all
second
school
one,
days.
employee illness is the highest.
Yes.
And then the third highest is personal. Right?
would you
So,
like a
so I
You said-
agree.
Go back and say that again, Mr. Dare.
The number one is, like you said,
Vacant
campus
position.
business leave, 563.
No, it's.
No, I'm not talking about the vacant position. I left
Vacancy is the
that.
highest.
Yeah, vacancy is the highest, but after that, I'm talking about
Campus business.
the ones that are the people that we have there.
Correct, and that's what I said, the ones we did to ourselves is business leave, teaching, things like that.
Business
You
and
take 27, whatever it was, I don't have.
563.
538, okay.
563.
That's 2,100 people. Divide that by 3, that's 1/3 of our absences that we didn't do ourselves is secondary to vacancies,
Right,
right?
Right.
You see where I'm going with you, Jim?
and then employee illness, and then personal. And so I agree with that part of it, but when you talk about the 751, and I won't get off the agenda and go into it, but I think that's where we have to have the personnel discussion on, because I can tell you, employees have said to me, I'm a certified teacher, but they won't hire me. They keep me as a sub, whether you want to call them long-term sub, whatever. So when you say we do it to ourselves, I don't think it's necessarily because the board took 30 days. How many of these 751, let's just stick with Judson, did we advertise and we couldn't hire, couldn't find? See, that's a whole different kind of personnel discussion.
But the other part of that discussion too is, remember what we do with our principals, they're the ones that do the hiring and firing.
Well, they don't
If the
really.
principal doesn't hire that person for whatever reason, that's the principal's decision.
We advertised year round, but we had a problem this year when we switched systems because, well, Ms. Howard, you know, I try not to be like openly confrontational and call people, you know, out, but I have specific people by name that their application did not transfer and they were not notified. They said they were not. And I'd like you to show me a letter. Show me something in writing that you sent out to tell these people that the system was changed and they need to reapply.
Right, and you had requested that earlier, so I provided the dates that we had it posted on our website. Also, a search soft, I provided the email that was sent out to anybody who was in the search soft system. I provided you that as well, but I can provide it again.
No, I don't. The one on the website, I know. But the people did not get, not everybody, but I don't know. Anyway, I even had a call last week and the lady said, I've been applying for 3 years to Judson, I cannot get in your system. And so I said, call, we changed systems, and she found out she was not on the new system and she was reapplying. And that's passed. But I just, you know, as we move into this, if we're going to evaluate, we need to evaluate the whole picture, not just a part of it. And I did have one other thing on this. I had asked for the report on the bonuses, and you had provided that. So,
Is it on the agenda?
Incentive.
yes, money.
Incentive.
The incentive money. So, if you please check by the next board meeting, did any employees receive the incentive that did not meet the criteria? And did any employees not receive it that should have received it? And then I'll come in and talk with Dr. Mackey specifically, because we're not going to call anybody's names. Okay? And that was all I had on the money part. But thanks, Steve. That was good numbers.
Can I ask you
I had
a
never
quick
figured that out like
question,
that.
since I'm here and there's about personnel and all this stuff? Are we hiring bus drivers?
Yeah.
Not
I
right
got
now.
blindsided today. A lady said she put her application in 23 days ago.
We're not
She is a
currently
bus
hiring.
driver from Marion right now and hasn't heard a thing back.
And the
We are taking them in right now as temporary or substitutes right now. They are not being hired full-time positions because of benefits and cost expenses.
Okay, explain it to him.
Okay, so the issue is that when we take the salary for the whole year, if we hire them now and we withhold the benefits costs for the summer, they will not make any money. Some of them would actually end up having.
Are you notifying that guy?
Yes,
She
absolutely.
hasn't received a notification.
Yeah.
She's certified and everything else.
Sometimes people aren't hired because they're not a good fit for judgment. So if I have a name, I can address that.
Why can't we give them like a contract with a later date?
Try to get away as quick as possible.
Yeah, we don't give contracts, but we can't give them, like we give them a letter to keep from paying that summer stuff. Can't we give them an intent, like, you know, so they don't go look somewhere else? We can't do anything like,
The letter of reason.
yes, that's what it's called. Can we give them that?
If we check their references and they check out.
Right. You hear that, Richard?
For the new year?
Richard? You hear that, Richard?
What?
We could,
I am not.
Richard always eats all the chocolate out of it.
Always
I asked her if she could give them like a letter of reasonable insurance.
Well, I might see this lady again. If I do, I'll get a full name from her.
And if they're currently working somewhere else, they're not going to work for us and not have benefits insurance.
Well, this one moved into
Their employer.
Judson.
If I know, but if their health insurance is being paid by another employer, and they're going to come to us, and we're going to tell them, you have to pay basic insurance premium for throughout the summer, or whatever.
Oh, no, they're not going to do
They're
that.
not going to do that.
They'd be stupid.
Finished, sir? Okay.
I'm done.
Item F, overtime expenditure report by department, we say there?
We got
Got
it.
it?
I can go home and
Okay,
read it.
federal program guidelines to use NCLB qualified paraprofessional.
I got it. I've
You
already
got
talked
it.
to them.
Custodian management report by campus vacancies, we say there, you got it?
Yep.
Step and allocations, Dr. Mackey has provided that to everybody here.
Yes.
Okay, therefore, before I adjourn, we're scheduled to meet Monday or Tuesday again Would you rather
That's
do
Wednesday.
it the
Wednesday,
following
29th.
Monday?
That's the 29th when we're meeting.
Well, which is when, Tuesday?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Yeah,
okay.
29th.
The 29th, a week, oh, do you still want to do it?
We did it then because we don't want to meet during the week of graduation. We
Right.
got too many things going on
Yeah.
that week.
Well,
So leave it where it is. I can't do nothing
for
else that
next
week.
Wednesday, the 29th.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
I will not be here, I'll be out of town, so I will not be here. But
We'll make sure and
Dr.
tell
Mackey
Miss
will
Sutton
provide
she
all the
need to be here and run a
Ms.
meeting.
Williams?
Miss Williams, I'm sorry. Jeez.
We're gonna meet the 29th
Okay,
then?
yes, sir, the 29th, Wednesday, the 29th at 6 PM.
I'm gonna go put my stuff on.
Meeting is
Too early.
adjourned. She thought I was leaving.